Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Over the Net. Hope you guys have had a great first 2 weeks of the new year so far. And yeah, so if you guys didn't know, season 2 of Breakpoint came out on Netflix a couple of days ago, and they've done a very, very good job. There's 6 episodes out right now, and I enjoyed all of them. But for me, the two standouts were the Olga Rune episode, and I think which was episode 2, I think it was episode 2, and episode 4, which was just called Unfinished Business, I think, which is about Zverev's comeback from his Roland Garros injury against Rafa a couple of years ago. If you guys remember that, when that insane injury, like when he basically just like broke. He tore 3 ligaments around the ankle, and yeah, that was one of the most. That was honestly like one of the most craziest injuries that we've ever seen in tennis. Maybe the most, considering this like the stage of the Grand Slam it was, against who it was, everything combined. And honestly, that was the best version of Zverev I think we've ever seen. Hopefully, we can see him get back to that level again in the future. That was I remember those first 2 sets. I was up watching it late night. The first 2 sets, I think, went on for 3+ hours. That was like at Roland Garros against Rafa, insanity. And yeah, so this episode sort of he's the main guy in this episode, and it shows him from getting injured to him getting back to Roland Garros the year after. I think he played exactly 1 year to the day on the same court, and he won. But yeah, so it's the whole journey from him getting injured, him doing rehab, him doing some public events, him training, everything. The one thing I will say for season 2 is that they've done a much better job of the behind the scenes, and they've actually done like a pretty good job showing more aspects of the players' lives and like humanizing them more, I guess. This was like this may be my favorite episode so far. Um, but there is bad blood. Like I knew there was bad blood forever between Sacha and Daniil, but like I didn't know how bad like not bad. It's nothing crazy, but like I didn't know how much bad blood there actually was. They start off by so the first time Daniil was sort of spoken about, Sasha says he's one of the best players in the world, and he knows more than anyone how to get into his opponent's heads and make them, start playing mind games. And when he starts playing mind games with different players, it gets frustrating at times. And it shows Daniil talking about it as well. Daniil says that he's played the most, like head to head wise, he's played the most against Sasha compared to anyone else on tour, and he wants to beat Sasha like every single time. He's like that competitive, and then he speaks about both their achievements. He says that Sasha has won the gold at the Olympics, and he's won a Grand Slam, and then he says that Olympics is a great achievement, having a gold medal, but in tennis, having a Grand Slam means more and is more valuable. And depending on who you speak to, I think majority of tennis fans would agree with that statement. I don't think it's anything crazy, but I think the way they sort of made it out in the show was he was downplaying Sasha's Olympics. I don't think Daniil would play it down. I'm pretty sure he'd love, especially with everything going on right now, he'd love to win a gold Olympics for his country, for Russia. But yeah, so he says the Olympic is great. It's amazing, and yeah. Then they show the actual match that Sasha and Daniil played, and I'll be honest, like this part of the episode was insane because they showed the momentum swings, they showed how Sasha's team was reacting, they showed how Daniil was reacting, they showed everything, and like I think that's why this is my favorite episode so far of the season. I've watched all 6 so far. I think there's 4 more or 6 more which will come out before the French maybe, or before Wimbledon, like later this year. So I'm super keen for that. I hope that there's a standalone episode of Daniil, because he's such a lovable guy. So he's like a very nice guy, and they painted him out to be like a legitimate villain in this episode, which I'm like not sure why exactly, because any like non-casual pure tennis fan, we sort of know that the roles are reversed within the tennis community because of like whatever allegations. I'm not going to get into what that is in this video, but because of that, and because of the outbursts, because of the tantrums, the tennis community, I'm trying to tread lightly here if you guys can't tell, but the tennis community between these two has a clear favorite and villain. And I'm like not sure why they've made Medvedev the villain and Sasha such a nice guy in this episode when the tennis community looks at it the complete opposite way. Maybe it's because he's Russian, and yeah, without getting into politics, maybe it has something to do with that. Or maybe it is that Sasha's team agreed to do the documentary or be part of Breakpoint, like the docu-series, and Daniil's didn't. But maybe there is a Daniil episode later on. I don't know. But like I don't know, it's a bit mind-boggling why they did like I'd like it if they did both sides. I'd like it if they showed both sides, but like they clearly haven't. They have some sort of an agenda. I'm like not sure exactly why it is. But yeah. So to get back to the episode, it shows the actual match, which was just like insane. Sasha wins the first set. Daniil comes back, so wins the second, and in the third, Daniil wins. And yeah, like he did have gamesmanship during the match. He was talking, like Daniil, I'm speaking of. He was talking back to the crowd. He was antagonizing the crowd. He was antagonizing Sasha a little bit as well, and it shows Sasha's team swearing at Daniil, like not directly at him, but like to the camera, and them just being frustrated with the antics that Daniil's doing. But my take on it is like you're both multi-millionaires who make tens of millions a year from the sport, from being a professional athlete. I think if there is gamesmanship or antics at this level, it shouldn't affect you. And if it does, maybe you have to like improve upon it, because this is like the highest of highest levels, and they're both ultra super competitive. And I think that this is just part of the game. But Netflix sort of made it out as no one does this. Only Daniil does this on the entire tour, and it's like a very bad thing. It's not good, which I really don't understand why they did it, but it is what it is, I guess. So they show Sasha losing. They show the locker room. This was a great scene, by the way. So he removes his shoes, he slams it, throws it across the locker, and then he just like starts sobbing uncontrollably, which was like very sad because of his rehab, because of the injury. They showed the whole process, and he was winning the match and he lost, and then obviously the antics were involved. So it was very sad. But then they go to Roland Garros, and at Roland Garros, like last year when Daniil lost round one, when he lost round one, they showed that, and they showed Sasha. I think TFO was in the background, and I think Olga Rune as well was in the background. I'm like not sure exactly, but they show Daniil losing in the very first round, the very very first round, and Sasha's laughing, and he says something along the lines of, "Oh, that's very ballsy. Good on him." After he loses, and yeah, so he says, "I do believe in karma." So I think that was like there isn't much more with what he says, but I think they may have cut something up. But I think that was him sort of saying, "Yeah, like you beat me a couple of weeks ago, but from like all the antics you pulled, all the gamesmanship, there is karma." And the tennis community online have their own take on everything that I'm saying right now. So if you go online, if you go look at Reddit or Twitter or whatever social media, most people are sort of saying what I'm saying. They're saying that Daniil's a very, very nice guy, and they don't understand why they've made him look like such a villain in this episode and painted him to be painted him in the character that they've painted him in. It doesn't make much sense. But yeah, so that's sort of like a recap on the episode, on like what was said from Sasha, my take on it. And yeah, like honestly, like my take is, yeah, quickly, like another thing. It was like very obvious when they had Medvedev speaking. A lot of it was chopped. You can just tell from just like the tone of his voice. So like mid sentence, it's like a different tone. So you can tell that that's not what he was saying in that one sentence. It's been cut and then it's been chopped and then like a different sentence has been added on to make it seem like one, if that makes sense. I don't know why they've done this, but my honest take on this is give us an episode with Medvedev. I need it. I need that in my life. I need to see Medvedev like behind the scenes. I think it would be insane. He's such a great character. He's one of the nicest guys. He's such a fun, lovable guy. So I want that. But great episode, great season so far. I'm planning on making a Olga and like a video on the Olga episode, which was in episode 2, I think. His mom's a great character, by the way, and Patrick loves the camera more than anyone else. He loves the camera, so he was good. He was good in that episode as well. So I'm thinking about doing a video on that. Maybe tomorrow or day after. Let me know if you guys will be interested in that, or let me know out of the 6 episodes what other episode you want me to make a video on. But yeah, until the next video, guys, take care. Let me know what your take on this is. Let me know if you've seen season 2 yet, or if you're gonna watch it, or you won't watch it. And if you watch this episode, I'm like very, very curious. If you've seen this episode, let me know if you think that was justified or like not justified, the way they've painted Daniil. There's no right or wrong answer. Let me know what you guys think. Until the next one, take care.